everybody. Movie Phantom here.
And Maya.
And I was going to introduce you this time. We won't forget about it. We got to talk about this. I think you're infringing on the Phantom's look. You're ripping me off, clearly. Mm-hmm. You are. I love you anyways. Mwah. Well, we got the place to ourselves tonight. It's a rarity. We rarely get that. At least with the show, anyways. And yeah, it's kind of bugging me. Just nudge this over right here. There we go. We're more center now. See? Two over that way. And this week, we got for you, and you picked these movies out this week.
Yeah.
We got Drag Me to Hell, Gremlins. So, there we are. Now, it has been a couple weeks since we've been here. On this show, anyways. I thought we'd be having 2 weeks off, but it turns out, like last week, we did like 5 videos. 5 videos. Weren't full feature lengths like this, but week before that, we did like a couple videos too. So, I mean, not really 2 weeks off that I expected, but hey, we soldier on, so that's what we do. Alright, so last week, we asked, no, sorry, it wasn't last week, it was like 3 weeks ago. If you guys can still even remember this, I don't know. 3 weeks ago, we asked, what was your top 3 favorite movies from the Halloween series? And that includes part 3, and that includes the 2 remakes. And we got a few, we got some responses back. We got a Horror Freak 1986. And she said, at number 3, it's 4, The Return of Michael Myers. An awesome one right there. At number 2, she had the original, number 1, Halloween. Bam. I don't know if the picture or the camera picked that up or not. And then her number 1 was Halloween H2O, which I really like that one. I'm a fan. So yes, thank you, Horror Freak. We appreciate it. R.I.P. Myers hit us up, and his is actually in order here. We got at number 3, Season of the Witch, which I know it's like one of those movies where like before it was just shit on by everybody. But it seems like now I have not found a single bad review for Season of the Witch at all. Like everybody just came around on it, I guess. Or unless the ones who are, who really liked it just became vocal recently or whatever. But yeah, I don't see hardly any negative reviews for this movie now. So, his number 2 was Halloween 2, the original. And then his number 1 was Halloween 1, the original. So yeah, thank you, Myers. Appreciate that. Ghostface Kid 101 hit us up. And his number 3 was the remake. The Rob Zombie directed remake, Halloween. His number 2 was Halloween 2. And his number 1 was Halloween, the original. So thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. And 13th Man hit us up, and he said at number 3, his was number 2, the original. And his number 2 was number 1, the original. And his number 1 was number 3, Season of the Witch. So yeah, there you go. So this goes to show you, Season of the Witch. Even though it was like completely shit upon, shated on, what do you want to call it? When it first came out, it's a fan favorite right now. Fuck cult classic. I hate the phrase cult film. Fuck that. That's retarded. It's a good movie. I'm tired of all my favorites being considered cult classics. Well, that's not really a real good movie. It's just a cult classic. No, fuck you. Good movie. So, there you go. This week we have and typically I always try to make my top 3s correlate with, but we got a request for a top 3. My boy Andrew Beaver hit us up, and he asked, and this was a really tough one because I'm gonna lie, I didn't really have any. Like I literally I was the fan was scraping the barrel.
I got 1.
She got 1. I mean, it's bad. I hope I didn't hurt, but the people who have are fortunate enough to that I'm fortunate enough to have gathered here are very intelligent people, and I'm sure they will knock this one out of the park. I ain't gonna lie, I just had trouble doing it. But the top 3 that Andrew Beaver proposed was top 3 most frightening non-horror movies. Bam! Ah, shit. And I ain't gonna lie, like, I literally, like, I'm not even completely, I'm sure, like, he told me this, like, over a week ago. And I spent that entire time looking. And I'm sure if I was given maybe a little bit more time, I could maybe cobble together something better. But these are the 3 that come to mind. And I ain't saying they're frightening overall. Well, one of them I kind of think is. The other 2, not necessarily, but, for me, this is a movie we reviewed on the show a while back ago, and at number 3 for me, it's Fire in the Sky, sci-fi movie. I watched it when I was a kid. It was on TV. When I watched it, it came on TV. It was like 94 or so when it came on TV. 94, 95. And I just remember it was just really kind of freaky, I guess. Not necessarily, the alien abduction too, because when you're a kid, it's like, based on a true story, you're completely like, oh yeah, sure it is. But it's more the fact that, like, no one believed you. Like, when you're telling the truth, and even when you pass a lie detector test, no one fucking believes you still, and it's just like, man, that's fucked up. And I remember that kind of frightened me a little bit when I was a kid, I guess, in a sense. Overall, no, not a frightening film, but I guess, when I was a child, something about that movie kind of, it resonated within me, and that's the best I can do. I'm sorry, Andrew, I really am, but that's my number 3 pick. Number 2, maybe I'm stretching on this one too. I'm going to say The Dark Knight, and my reason is, and not that it's a scary movie at all, I got to say though, when we watched it, we went to the IMAX, we went to the capital of the state that I'm in, it's an event film. Me and my boys got together and we watched it on the IMAX, and it really was the best way to watch it, but the first time I watched it, I was just so fucking engrossed into the film, like, it was just like, I wasn't in a theater, I was literally in the movie. I think the reason I put it on this list is because it was scary how the Joker would fuck you up no matter where you was at. Like, no matter what, he was coming to fuck you up. And that kind of, I'm not gonna lie, that was a little freaky. It made you a little uneasy as you're watching it, because you knew no matter what, you weren't safe. You weren't safe at all. Like, no matter how psychotic he was also very brilliant and very intelligent. He'd fuck you up no matter what. So, once again, kind of reaching here, I throw Dark Knight on the list. And for me, number 1, most frightening non-horror film. Now this one actually did freak me out, but on a different level than typical jumps and scares. Zeitgeist, the movie. Documentary. It's clearly propaganda, but it works. At least it worked on me. It's just kind of a look inside the government, 9/11 cover-up. I'm not going to get on a soapbox here and stuff, but I'm just saying I watched it, and I remember there for at least a good 2-3 months. Like, I was all set to just, like, buy guns and move out to the mountains and just wait for everything, society to crumble. It did kind of affect me on that one. I loved it. I think it's a great film. Everybody should see the film. After a while, you kind of relax a little bit, and you start researching it, and you can see there's a lot of flaws in the movie, but I still think it makes a good point. But that's beside the point. You asked top 3 frightening non-horror movies, and that was my number 1. What about you, sweetie? You said you only had 1. What was?
Yeah, Scary Movie 2. That looked his hand.
You were freaked out at the guy's hand in Scary Movie 2?
Yeah.
That's not scary. That's just. Alright. She's giving me the evil look right now. Alright, I'm sorry. Well, what scared you about it?
It's tiny and it's...
So the deformity kind of freaks you out.
Yeah.
Alright. So I want to know, guys out there, what do you guys think are the top 3 most frightening non-horror movies? Alright. And there are just... Oh, there you go, sweetie. Your Mike and Ike. They're back together, I see. Alright.
Yeah.
Top 3 most frightening non-horror movies. Now, you guys know by now how to hit me up. Of course, now, video responses, I do normally wait to the end because everybody's interrupting on that one. But, as you guys know now, video responses are now gone. However, like 13th Wolfman's been doing on his channel when he does his question of the week, and I've been doing it for a while here, is if you do a video response, just give me the link. Either get to me by personal message, or you can leave it down below. Either way, I'll check it out. Speaking of down below...
Nope.
And personal messages.
Nope.
Of course, all my fan friends over on Facebook, you can hit me up there. And finally, movefam7@gmail.com.
Nope.
So, numerous ways to get your submissions in there. So.
Nope. Video response.
But there is no more video response. Alright. No news this week. I know. 3 weeks away and we haven't really done shit. Fam's lazy. And if you haven't discovered that by now, it's, I'm not gonna lie. I don't really get much time to really do anything anymore. What? I'm looking at the back of this. This is, no, so no news this week, but there are a lot of... Remember at the beginning of the month, I was like, man, it's October, no horror movies. We got one. We got one horror movie, that's it. Like, 4 of them just, like, crept out of nowhere. Like, as, like, the weeks were approaching. Of course, since we haven't been doing a legit show, I just been kind of jotting them down and waiting for the moment to talk about them. So here we are. The movies of October now, all these are already come to pass. And one of them's playing this weekend, so... of course,
Came out yesterday.
Came out yesterday, yeah. Of course, by the time you guys watch it, the weekend's already passed, and there'll probably be a shitload of YouTube reviews on it. But first, we got a movie called Bad Milo, in which a guy, with all the stress in his life, it causes like a tumor type thing in his stomach, and it pops out of his ass and starts a killing spree. Clearly more of a horror comedy. It has, I can't think of the dude's name. He was on the, I want to say an episode of Reno 911. Dangle, I forget what Dangle's doing, but he picks the guy up, and then they have like a little date in the car, and then it ends with the guy masoning him and stealing his wallet. I mean, it's a brilliant fucking thing. He was also the stepdad on Role Models. He was McLovin, her name was Augie something. He was his stepdad in the movie. Really, I mean, I like everything. I know I see this guy somewhere. I mean, he's always good and I like him, but he's never been like a main character, but he gets his chance here, and it looks like a fun movie. Like the little creature, clearly it's a puppet at times, and some of it, they actually, it's just old school techniques, but it reminds me of like, he's like an E.T. in a way, like a cute E.T. with teeth that's gonna fuck you up. Definitely a throwback to movies like Basket Case and shit. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. It's already been out, so I can't wait. I want to see it. But, yeah, Bad Milo. Up next, we got a movie called Escape from Tomorrow. I'm not going to lie. What the movie's about, I couldn't tell you. I've read the summary, and I still don't quite... It's a surreal world, and the dude, it's like a nightmare. You can't wait. I don't know. It's fucking weird. But here's what the crazy part about it is. The guy shot it guerrilla style, the director, inside of Disney World. No fucking joke. The dude literally filmed the movie, I guess without their permission, which I'm kind of shocked that this like hasn't been like shut down or whatever. Because even like the poster, you know how like Walt Disney is written like in this crazy magical cursiveness? That's what, Escape from Tomorrow is. And it's literally Mickey Mouse's hand coming up. And I believe it's like blood splattered and shit. It's just Escape from Tomorrow. I don't know. It looks like it's just going to be a weird art house mindfuck of a film. But I like that kind of shit. Dude, I think it'll be great now. But I want to see it because I'm just curious, like how they did. Like what I don't know. I'm just curious. I guess I'm more curious than anything about this movie. So, Escape from Tomorrow. Up next, we have a movie called All the Boys Love Mandy Lane. Apparently, this movie was filmed in like 2006, and it's just now being released. Just now, which means it's eligible for the Fan Awards this year. But still, I'm like, really? It sat on the shelf that long? And I'm not sure what the reason was. I'm guessing, it's probably a piece of shit, but it has Amber Heard in it. And someone else in it that's like a big star too. So it's basically like Texas Chainsaw Massacre Next Generation, where they shelved it because it was shit, and then when McConaughey and Witherspoon became huge, stars, we're like, oh, here it is. Of course, I don't really think Amber Heard's a huge star, is she? She's big in the horror community, I guess. But anyways, it looks like standard slasher though. It just seems like they all get invited to this big party on this ranch, and then a killer's going by picking them off one by one. I did read a little blurb, because I don't try to read too many reviews. I just try to get like headlines, but they did compare it. I guess not necessarily. I don't think the movie itself, but they said it had a lot of comparisons to Cabin in the Woods, I guess, with its horror satireness, like in that aspect of it. So I don't know, I kind of piqued my curiosity a little bit more there, but yeah. So the movie's called All the Boys Love Mandy Lane. So there you go. Another movie. This one looked pretty fucking crazy, actually. A movie called Casadega. Another one's like it came out in 2011. It's just now or it was made in 2011, just now being released. Once again, what reason I don't know. But this one looks pretty good. It's about this girl. I guess like she had a sister that was deaf. And the trailer kind of made it look like this, but like she beckons her across the road, and the girl who's deaf just walks and gets hit by a fucking truck. And I'm like, that's fucked up. And I'm assuming it was an accident kind of thing. Well, the girl herself is feeling really bad, so she decides to have a seance to, get the girl, to contact her dead sister. Apparently, I guess she contacts, I guess it brings in all these other spirits, and anyways, it's almost like that. The supernatural aspect is mixed with like a crime, serial killer type thing. Because there's a killer out there who is killing all these people, all these girls, and he's making these like like human-sized marionettes out of body parts. You know, fucking puppets and shit on strings. And in case you didn't know what marionette is, and yeah, so I guess like the spirits are trying to get her to like help solve the case or something like that. Dude, it looks pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, I thought it looked pretty good. The fact that it was just like shelved for 2 years, I don't know why, but yeah, I don't know. I think it looks pretty good. So Casadega, and then of course this weekend, what's coming out? What is already out?
Carrie,
which we mentioned at the beginning of the month, and you know, we told you we talk about when it comes out, and here we are. Of course, we all know the story of Carrie, a young girl with telekinetic powers, who gets bullied at school, and then on prom night, she fucking unleashes hell. I've mentioned this before. We did a review on that, I believe. I'm pretty sure we did. Carrie, I love it. I think it's a fucking masterpiece of a film. Truly, just brilliant. The remake, initially I was fucking psyched. Chloe Moretz as Carrie, Julianne Moore as her mother. I was like, two of my favorite. I mean, Chloe's just definitely like one of my favorite new actresses that are coming on the scene. You know, she's been on the scene for a little bit now, I guess. But anyways, you know, one of the newer actresses I just love. Julianne Moore's been one of my favorites, you know, of all time. Period. Like, I mean, I first saw her in Big Lebowski when I was in junior high, and I didn't really latch onto her there, but then I started seeing her Earth shit as I was getting older, and I was just like, oh my god, she's in everything, and she's brilliant in everything. So I'm a huge Julianne Moore fan, so I'm really glad to see her in this. But when I see it, it does have this very 2000 and whatever polish to it, which ain't their fault. I'm not holding that against it, but my big thing is, more than anything else, is the fact that like Chloe is a very attractive young girl. I don't buy her being the ugly duckling at school. I just don't at all. The one who's picked on. Really? So I mean, like Sissy Spacek, she had that thing going for her. Like she homely or made herself homely looking and everything, and it worked. Whereas Chloe didn't really do anything to make herself look ugly or anything. She's Chloe, and she still looks good, and yet she's still picked on. Really? I don't know. Maybe school's different now. Maybe it's like 21 Jump Street, where the way shit was when I was in high school is just completely different, and now we pick on the attractive girls in school. I don't know. Maybe it is. But I still want to see it. I mean, clearly it's a classic, or a retelling of a classic, so I'm still there. I never did see, I guess they did a TV remake of Carrie. I don't know if it was a miniseries or if it was just a straight-up TV movie. But I never did watch that, but I hear it's followed the book closer. And I guess that's what they're trying to do with this one. So, I don't know. And I never did actually watch all of The Rage either. Carrie 2. I saw like the end of it, like after she fucks everybody up at the party, and fucking the older Taylor boy from Home Improvement, Zachary Ty Bryan or something like that, gets shot. I think he's the one who gets shot like in the crotch, and his ball comes out into the pool. Fucking awesome. But yeah, I need to see. I actually need to catch up on those actually. But yeah, Carrie. So, all right. Well, we got some comments. 13th Wolfman. Now, once again, we're kind of hitting shit that's like 3 weeks old, but fuck it. 13th Wolfman said I was right about the My Bloody Valentine. Remember we talked about the scene where the girl gets put in the hot tub and burns her?
Yeah.
And that's there's a scene in My Bloody Valentine, same thing. And then we was like, you know, which one came out first? They both came out the same year. Apparently, My Bloody Valentine was the one that came out first. I figured so because I mean it was February. And one's in October. I mean, even though like that's just the setting, I'm sure they released them around that time, so I just took the guess. But thank you, I appreciate it. Horse Freak 1986. I apologize. 3 weeks ago when she answered, you know, I think she did her top 3. I assumed it was a guy. I mean, I didn't really look at her profile like that. I just, you know, and I must say like, you know, well, he said number 3, and she's a female, and I do apologize deeply. So, Horse Freak. Accept my apology, please. And then finally, Zuma 126. We recently we reviewed his kids. I'm doing a shit. I can't be eating and doing a shit.
You're a butthole.
It's unprofessional.
Butthole. You're
a butthole. Zuma 126. We recently did a review for his son's short story or short film, The Ghost Boy, and we also did a little fun video, you know, us, of me running through a cornfield. Just something ridiculous we did to do it. We actually just made a little trailer for the channel. But anyways, he was very cool on both of them. He's like, you rock, and dude, we appreciate that very much. Thank you. So you guys want to leave us any kind of comments, requests, recommendations, hate mail, love mail, weird questions. You just want to know weird shit like boxes or briefs. We don't care. We'll answer it. You know how to hit us up. Of course, we can't do video responses anymore. But you can, but you can't make, so just leave, if you make a video response, leave the link down below or private messages. Speaking of personal messages, link down below, or, you can comment down below or leave me a personal message. The Phantom family can hit, or the Phantom friends, sorry, tongue-tied over here. Phantom friends can hit up over on Facebook. And, movefam7@gmail.com. So, boom, there you go. Let's get some reviews, shall we? First, we got 2009, Drag Me to Hell, in which this woman, she's a bank loan officer, refuses this gypsy woman's request to get an extension on her loan or a mortgage or some shit, and the gypsy puts a curse on her. Okay, I'm gonna go first on this one if you don't mind. I got a thing to say here. Alright, I remember when this came out, I was really excited. At that point, this came out in 2009. 2009, 2010 were 2 years that was just horrible for me on watching anything new release. Like, I didn't keep up on movies hardly at all those 2 years. Because at the time I worked at this other factory, which we'll leave nameless, but dude, they fucking worked you like 70 hours a week. And I'm not exaggerating at all. Like, you literally had no life. You worked. That's it. Between 60 and 70, it fluctuated. I am exaggerating by 10 hours. Still, 60 hours a week. And literally, I mean, only thing you had time to do is put the gun in your mouth. But you were too tired to pull the trigger. So, like, literally, those 2 years, like, I was making shitload of money. I just didn't have time to spend it because I was just too busy dragging ass and sleeping. So you did is work and sleep. You had no life. So that came out in that time period. So there was a movie that I just read about. And I was pumped to see Sam Raimi's name attached to it. He was director, and I was like, shit, yeah, because now I was like, here we go. We got Sam Raimi, the guy who did The Evil Dead. And I remember hearing everybody go, he takes it back to his horror roots. And I was like, all right, cool. Now, thinking that, I come across it during the Black Friday sale, day after Thanksgiving, and I got it really cheap. I got this for like, I don't know, $5 maybe. It was just ridiculously cheap. It was a new release when it came out. Like, I got it the year it came out. Bought it, watched it, and just did not care for it. Like, it was way too slapsticky for me. And everybody's like, well, Phantom, look at Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness. Well, guess what? I didn't want those two. I wanted the original Evil Dead. There's nothing really slapsticky about Evil Dead 1. He gets beat up a lot, but guess what? It's not really slapsticky. He just gets ass kicked. And he's bloody. That's it. It was horror. It's a horror. Evil Dead is a horror movie, and I was wanting horror. I was wanting something to literally... Because I remember the first time I watched Evil Dead, it scared the shit out of me. Now, granted, I was a lot younger, but I wanted something to come close to that, and we did. We get this goofy, live-action cartoon, and I was not feeling it at all. I even watched both versions. That's how much I torture myself. I got the regular and the unrated version. Unrated version has nothing else different except they show the scene when she kills a cat. She shows her actually drop the cat in a bag into the thing. Maybe it shows cat. I can't remember. That was it. I just remember being like, really? I just sat through two fucking moments of this. Because it even says on the back, the movie runtime for both is 1 hour and 39 minutes. Like, really? Maybe they altered scenes. No, it's literally just that one little few seconds thrown in there. It's a fucking ripoff. So I was not a big fan of it. When she picked it out, her exact words was, I don't like this movie, but we should review it. And I was like, alright, we're going to do a hate review, I see. So we watched it. And I thought, like, you know what, maybe she'll still hate it, but in my review, maybe I'll check. Because, I mean, it's been a while since I watched it. I watched it back in 2009. Here it is. We're 2013. Or I guess I watched it. No, it was 2009 when I watched it. So I'm like, here we are, 2013. Got some years under our belt now. Let's see if like my mood changes. Now I know what to expect. I know it's going to be like a horror comedy goofiness. And you know what? No. Still not that impressed with it. I just don't, I ain't getting into it. There are some high points. Don't get me wrong. I think the seance scene is really good. I thought that when I first watched it. The first time I watched it, like, the seance scene. Really good. I just love seeing the guy up there kind of dancing around, But I'm sorry, 1 or 2 scenes isn't enough to really pull this through. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to say too much. I don't want to give it away. I do like. It does have a. It has a good score. That's what I do with shit movies that I have nothing else to say. I just kind of fall back on the score. Christopher Young, the guy who gave us the Hellraiser theme. He also did this, and it's good. He's really good. I think he's very underrated. Actually, he's one of my favorite composers. Actually, I just kind of feel like he constantly gets kind of kicked aside. No, I think he's really good. Yeah, I don't know what to say. Justin Long turns in a pretty subdued performance, and I'm not saying that in a bad way. I think he kind of pulled it back a bit, and I like that. To me, it shows his range. I think he's a damn good actor, and I always like when you see an actor that can do an out there performance or a really goofy performance or whatever, and to see them kind of restrained a little bit. I don't know if that was his call or Sam Raimi's. Either way, it was a good call, and I really like it because there was a scene toward the end. Well, I won't give anything away, but there's this one scene where he sees something horrible happen, dude, and you can see it on his face. And you buy it. No matter how. It's actually got some high marks. People do like this movie. I personally don't. But no matter what I think about it, dude, that one scene is to me my favorite scene. Just that close up on his face, and you can just see. He didn't really cry, but there's a little bit of tears. But he has this distraught horror on his face, and I don't know. It's just to me, it's my favorite scene. The girl didn't do too bad. Alison Lohman. She kind of reminds me. It just seems like she's a Kristen Bell knockoff. They couldn't get Kristen Bell. So they're like, well, fuck it, let's just get a lookalike. Her, Alison Lohman. She didn't do bad, though. It isn't really a horrible movie. I just didn't care for it. I don't know. What about you, sweetie? Let's hear your review.
I thought it wasn't scary at all.
It definitely was not scary. But didn't you say you jumped on a scene?
Yeah.
Well, let's hear it. What did you jump on?
That little cloth that, it goes to her window. Her car.
Yeah. In the parking lot?
Yeah.
And what was it now?
I think it was like napkin or something.
Oh, when it floated and then boom, hits the windshield type thing? Okay, yeah.
That was the only scary part.
And it wasn't really a freaky part, it was just a sudden jump scare and that was it.
Jump scare.
Your apprehension went away after that. Yeah, I don't know, I just wasn't a fan. I just remember everybody's like, oh, it's his return to horror. I didn't think it was.
It needs to be more scary.
Agreed. Yeah, I don't know. After that, I didn't give a fuck about Sam Raimi's. I'm gonna lie, Sam Raimi is just one of those directors that I just don't care for. There's a few horror directors that everybody's like, oh, they're great. No, they're not. Tobe Hooper, I'm sorry, to me, he's just done one film, and that's it. And it feels like he's given way more credit to that than he probably deserves. I'm pretty sure it's a team effort. Everybody's pitched in on that. And then when everybody else left and he was on his own doing his own thing, you can tell because he hasn't done shit since then. Sam Raimi, I feel the same way. I feel like with the exception of the Evil Dead trilogy, I don't really like anything else he's done. I don't care for Spider-Man movies. I don't care for The Quick and the Dead. I didn't care for fucking Darkman. I don't care for this. I would say to stick to producing, but he's only really done one movie, I think, that I really liked, and that was The Grudge. I didn't care for Boogeyman. I didn't care. I think he did Possession. The Possession wasn't bad. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. Yeah, that's about it. That's all I can think of. Actually, I don't think I was that crazy about The Possession now that I'm thinking about it. The one with the box. I think I remember just giving it an okay when I watched it. Anyways, yeah, Sam Raimi, I'm just not huge on it. I'm sorry. I'm just not big on it. So yeah, Drag Me to Hell. It does have a pretty bleak ending. I do like how it is a bleak ending. I do like the ending, but I don't know. That's all I got. So, Drag Me to Hell. Alright, up next we got the family classic, Gremlins, in which a boy is given a gremlin for Christmas.
His dad.
Yeah, his dad gets it for him, and then of course it multiplies and
you can't.
Sweetie, go ahead and give us your review.
Okay, it's about this boy. He gets a
1984, by the way, so we're going to spoil it.
Muslim. Isn't that what it is?
Did you say Muslim? I just want to remind you guys that the views of Maya do not necessarily reflect upon the movie Phantom, so direct all your hate mail to this one.
What kind of animal is it? It's a...
what the fuck they call it? Like Malfoid?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, you said most of them. That's just funnier. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, and they can't.
We'll call them Gremlins.
Yeah, Gremlins. And they can't.
What are the 3 rules, sweetie?
No bright lights. Don't feed them after midnight.
Mm-hmm.
And not with they can't be near water because they multiply. And okay.
Just watch
They,
Alright, go ahead. Keep reviewing.
They multiply, and then the boy that feeds those other ones, the multiply ones, food. And he thought it was like 11:30, and they chew through the cord, and then they make cocoons, and they destroy the whole town.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What'd you think of it?
I loved it.
Loved it?
Yep.
It is a classic. Thing is, I've only seen it maybe twice, including right now. I watched it like when I was a kid, and I forget how old I was. I was probably 6, maybe. Yeah. And so whenever she bought this, I was like, she's like, I'm gonna pick this up. She for a while there, she's picking up like 4 DVDs a week, right? And usually there's like 1 of them I liked and 3 that I hated. So when she picked it up, she's like, "We think about this?" I'm like, "I like it." I remember I liked it, but I couldn't remember much of it. Thing is, like, only I can remember clearly. I kind of remember the end a little bit. I remember Stripe being like the last gremlin that got destroyed or whatever, evil gremlin that got destroyed. I remember like certain scenes like with Corey Feldman or whatnot. But the one thing that stuck out in my mind, like whenever anybody would have mentioned Gremlins at any point between when I was 6 and now, the one thing that stuck in my mind was literally when Phoebe Cates, I'm gonna call her Phoebe Cates, tells a story about why she doesn't like Christmas. And the story is because her and her mom are waiting for her dad to come home, and he never does, right? Like Christmas Eve night, not home. So like it's like 3 days later or something like that, and of course at this point the cops have already been looking and blah blah blah. She goes to light the fireplace, and of course it smells horribly. And so they figure it's like a dead raccoon or something that's stuck in the chimney. That, looking at it, and sure enough, it's her dad dressed up like Santa with a broken neck because he got there, he slipped, and he broke his neck and got caught in the chimney. And I just remember like that is fucking like for a Steven Spielberg produced fucking movie for kids. That's fucking dark. And I was like, holy shit! Like even as a kid, I was like, holy shit! And like she ends the story with like, that's how I found out Santa wasn't real. And I'm just like, god damn, what a horrible way to figure it out, No, watch it now, and I love it. I mean, it's fun. It's cute. Like, who doesn't want Gizmo as a pet?
Gizmo.
I'd keep him. He's just so adorable. Like when he's watching the race car movie, and he's just going, like pretending to the car. Dude, that's fucking hilarious. It has Corey Feldman, young Corey Feldman. Judge Reinhold, which I'm a Judge Reinhold fan. He's kind of a dick in this movie, but there's a deleted scene I wish they would have put back in it because I know he's in it, but he just like disappears. I'm like, what the fuck happened to him? I guess you can assume they gobble his ass up, but in the deleted scene it shows like the main guy, Billy's boss, is dead, and then Judge Reinhold's character locked himself in the vault. But he's still just an arrogant little prick, and he's just like, oh no, because now I'm your boss, and this keeps going on and on. They just kind of lock him back in there, we'll save him later. But yeah, I'm like, I would like to see that back in there because I want to know what happened to him. Directed by Joe Dante, which did The Howling, whenever we reviewed a while back ago. And we did the Burbs, too. And I didn't care for the Burbs, but yeah, it has, of course, our boy Dick Miller in it. We love Dick Miller on the show. He plays the neighbor. And once again, I don't know. I don't really know what to say about it. It is just a great movie to watch. Just fun. That's what you can say. There's literally just toward the end when it just literally Gremlins running loose. Like when after they went through that second phase and their little fucking monster demon things, or they're just causing havoc and kicking ass all over town, and they're just doing like all kinds of like they're constantly smoking, drinking. The one exposes himself to Phoebe Cates. Thought that was fucking hilarious. They went to the movie theater and they're just fucking that place up. I don't know. It's fun stuff, and definitely it's a movie. It's definitely a movie. I mean, it's good, wholesome family entertainment. They do say asshole once, but I think we can get by with that. So yeah, I'm saying Drag Me to Hell. I don't recommend that to you. Well, I guess I do recommend it. Check it out, but I'm just saying I didn't care for it. But Gremlins, you should have already seen it. And if it's been a long time since you've seen it and you don't really remember it, check it out again. It's definitely worth the rewatch because I loved it. Alright, well, Sweetie, got anything else to say? Mm-hmm. Alright. Well, for Maya, I am the Movie Phantom, and yeah, I'm out of here. Later.